you turn that up a little bit?
Yeah, a little louder.
You like that film?
Yeah.
Basically, all the stuff that I was going to ask was already answered in the film. No, it wasn't.
You have nothing to ask. Look at it. Nothing should change. We had to bring things out ourselves, didn't we?
Well, this is what you did, right? This is how you started? Doing your own thing? Is there any, first of all, is there anything in that piece that we just saw that you disagree with or like to add on to or didn't get it right or what? Any of that?
Frankly, I liked it, and I liked the guy who did it, Joanne Joe. Let me check the mic. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Okay.
Could be louder.
Well, some of these things, some people ask me to ask you some questions and some I wanted to ask myself, so we're going to roll with that. First of all, you all know about, this is the first annual Badass Award that's going to be given in Melvin's name. Y'all know about it, right?
You know, one of the things I would like to say about this award is when we discussed this, they were kind enough to put the title the way I asked them to make it badass. You have to be a little, put a little fire under people's head and under their minds and under their feet. And so I'm very, very, very pleased that they called it badass.
And you know what goes beyond that? The person that gets it, when they list the things that, the credits, I mean, what did you win? I got the Badass Award.
There you go.
All right, so a lot of people have asked this question over the years, and this is about Sweetback. We were looking for him to come back, and he said he'd be back. What up?
Well, that's a very sad story. Sweetback I wrote as a trilogy. There are 2 other parts. However, once I did Sweetback and it was a success, because I promised the powers to be 2 for 1. One that I'd make this film, but 2 that would fail. And then when I cheated on the second part and didn't fail, everybody got pissed off. Columbia tore up my contract, and I have not been able to get any work in the traditional fashion since then. I've had to do everything myself. Well, that doesn't bother me, but it is slow, so it did not give me the opportunity to do the things that I would. For example, after I made Sweetback, I made my next movie. Nobody would distribute it. We saw it here the other day. Don't Play As Cheap. And so, since I had made the film and I had all the work put together, I turned it into a Broadway show, and it was a hit on Broadway. Ain't Supposed to Die, Natural Death was also a hit. Those were made of albums, but it's called I Had to Make Do. And however, it didn't allow me to compete, and still doesn't allow me to compete in using the normal factors. What happened, for example, very interestingly, before Sweetback, a movie was not sold by its music. Even if Hollywood brought a Broadway show, they would bring out the album later. It was an afterthought. However, since I had no money left, and I had to do something, the liberal and the black DJs played the album. And that was how I publicized Sweetback. And that was so successful with the albums that it became de rigueur. Everybody does it now. If you're going to bring out a movie, often the soundtrack comes before the movie. And for example, Shaft was originally a white movie. But when Sweetback, it was in pre-production, but then when Sweetback did so well, they stopped pre-production and redid and hired a black cast and a black crew, and that's what happened. And not only that, I'd gotten thrown out of my record company before because they thought the movie was too colored or something. I don't know. But and so I went to a record company. There were only 2 companies of color that had any power, and that was Motown, but who was trying to keep their thing very for the larger audience. And then there was Stax Records. I went to Stax Records, and they agreed to take the album. And how the album came about, Mom used to always say, "Lord may not come you call me, always right on time." Well, he was right on time because my secretary asked me to try her boyfriend's band. I didn't know them. And I went over, there's a bunch of guys starving in Hollywood there, but they're very nice guys, very good. And they came and they did the music. I wrote the music, but they played it. And that was their first album. The band was called Earth, Wind, and Fire.
So let me ask you this now. So in the movie that Mario made, called Badass, in that scene, you wrote a check for $500 to the band that was a basketball. This is bounced.
Yeah, check bounced.
So that part is true.
Yeah.
At some point, though, they did get paid.
Yeah, I paid them. When I got it, yeah.
I'm curious about, you and I talked about this once before in a telephone interview.
I didn't know she was married, man. I told you that.
Now, I mean, when you saw movies, when you grew up on the south side of Chicago, and you went to a theater on South Prairie, because 52nd Street, 51st, called the NRA.
National Red Alley.
It was supposed to be part of the National Recovery Act. That's why it was called the NRA. But in the neighborhood, we called it the National Rat Alley.
Right.
So, and they had rats in there. So when you went to see a movie, did you have? I mean, when you sat in the chair and watched the movie, do you have any thoughts about I could do that, or what's wrong with this picture? This is something I could do.
What you would see, you would just see adventure movies, and if they had a Negro, colored person, African American, African something, he was always going in. One Tarzan could whip up 20 of the brothers and the sisters and so forth. And this is what you see. And this is what I told the head of the institution when you went to get a rating of the film. He says, you've got to think of young minds. I says, if seeing yourself on screen every day, see, yes or no, so if that is not a change of a young mind, I don't know what is. So you didn't rate those movies X or anything else, because actually those movies I find more toxic than my movie, and since that's the way it is, I won't do it. It was unthought of not to get a Broadway rating of Please Girlfriend. I just did it myself, and started this whole new way. All you have to do is know you're right. That's start one. Then you have to figure out how can I best win this battle. When I came back to the States as the French director, no one knew I was black, let alone American. I get off the plane, Mom said, Melvin Van Peebles, délégation française. Melvin Van Peebles, délégation française. I said, hey ladies, don't mind me, son. Melvin Van. I said, hey, yo ladies, slow your roll. I just couldn't, but I am Melvin Van Peebles. She said, Parlez-vous français, you know, and I'm a troublemaker, but I don't mind. I'm serious with me, you know, or duck with me, whatever's necessary. That's what happened.
I want to ask you a little bit about